I took my parents to the last 2 hours of the West Coast Card Show, and I'm going to document this journey here. We flew in from Salt Lake over to Long Beach, and our plan was to celebrate my sister's birthday party at the Oogie Boogie Bash at Disneyland. But when my mom saw that there was a card show and that we might have an hour or two to spend before the start of the party, she insisted that we make our way over. As we walked in on Sunday afternoon at about 2:30, the crowds were really quite sparse. In fact, there was no one even at the front door to check the tickets that we had purchased online the day before. With over 1,100 booths, I wanted to try and cover as much ground as we could. My mom was looking for baseball cards, and I wanted to see if I could add anything to my football collection. Looking at the map, everything on the left side, really from the restrooms over, tended to be Pokémon. And I liked that they were all put in one area so that it was a bit easier to navigate. There was plenty of space to walk through the rows of tables. The tables were linear and organized, which made it very easy to navigate as well. And I really appreciated this. Inside the convention center, it was air conditioned, clean, and again, had plenty of space for us to walk around. The first booth that caught my eye was Saturday Morning Cards. And this was a booth that I had purchased a Mickey Mouse card for my mom before, so I wanted to show it to her. And she spent no time making her first purchase. Now, this in particular is a Tigger and Winnie the Pooh, and interestingly, the inside of the box, which is very thoughtfully constructed, by the way, is signed by Jim Cummings, who voiced both characters. She got lucky enough to hit a short-numbered card, and really a fantastic card that she was very happy to have in her collection. We saw the Fanatics booth, and I wanted to take an opportunity to show my parents, who don't ever really go to card shows, some of the more high-end cards that they'll ever see. I'll show those to you here.
The Caitlin Clark, a lot. So those patch autos, interestingly, those patches aren't worn from anything. They just cut them out of his shirt. But even so, they sell for $5, and I want to say she hit 6 figures on that bar, which is pretty crazy. All these cards are
Even though there was a large portion of Pokémon cards, which I wasn't particularly interested in, I will say they had a good balance of baseball, vintage baseball, and even football and basketball as well. My mom is a Dodgers fan and a Dodger card collector of sorts, and she had no trouble finding inventory to browse through. There were some beautiful high-end Michael Jordan cards, which I just don't see at my local card shows here. And really outside of National, you don't really get an opportunity to see these cards in person. So it was a lot of fun, especially to take in just over an hour and a half of time at the show. There was a good sampling of wrestling cards as well, including this Undertaker and Mankind. As I saw a lot of these wrestling heroes, I just couldn't help but think to myself out loud, I wonder if they have any Joe Hendry cards here.
Say his name and he appears.
I saw a good sampling of Team USA cards that I thought Ricky would find interesting for his collection. You can hear us talk about that on our main show that comes out every Saturday morning. You see a lot of prices listed on cards, which of course I love. And I will say, with it being a Sunday afternoon before dealers were packing up, there were deals to be had. This is something that I had heard of from fellow friends and card show goers, but to be honest with you, I usually don't stay until the end of a show. Check out these 2 Dodger cards that my mom picked up, including a Will Smith Bowman's First and a flawless game-used Walker Buehler patch auto. both of which I can say we got for well below these sticker prices. She wasn't the only one who made a purchase. I'm trying to regrow my 2012 Prism Silver football collection, and I found this nice Rob Gronkowski here. Got it from a great Boston fan and sports card dealer, was able to get it at a great price as well, so I was very happy about that. Not only that, I was able to see some cards that I know some of my friends in the hobby are looking for either to document, just like this Every Player, Every Game that Julius is trying to document the patches of. I'll tag his Instagram in the show notes below. And even sent a quick photo of this Reggie Miller patch auto over to Kyle to see if he needed it for his collection prior to me leaving. One of the more fun pieces that I saw here is a ticket stub from the 2008 Dodgers. Interestingly, this happened to be from the first game that Clayton Kershaw pitched. Now, you don't see a price tag on this one, and there's a reason. This was a hefty price. And I considered buying it. Maybe in the future I'm going to have to pick this one up. But overall, with the show, of the 1,100 tables, I would say 2/3 of them still had dealers at them, even though it was the last hour and a half to 2 hours of the show. It was not overcrowded. It felt very comfortable walking inside of there. They had some food and drink on the outside of the expo hall, which is located immediately next door to the Hilton Anaheim, and really just a 15-minute walk over to the Disneyland Resort. We covered half to 2/3 of the table in just over our hour. Now, we were walking fast, just browsing and looking. But I tell you what, this card show was put on very well. It does not have the same massive presence that the National does. And I like that, to be honest with you. This is definitely a show that I'm looking forward to coming back to in the future. Now, I can say that they have dates posted for next year already, both with their Ontario show and then the one in Anaheim as well. It appears as though next year's summer show is going to be in July, just before the National. I don't love the time. To be honest with you, I loved pairing this with the Oogie Boogie Bash, which is one of my favorite activities to attend. And I really wish that this show would be in later August or in September so I could pair that again. I know my family would like to join me on that as well. So hopefully in future years we can see some fluctuation in that date to maybe push it back a little bit further away from National. That was my experience. If I left anything out that you're curious about, please let me know and I'll be happy to get back to you in the comments. If you like what you're seeing, please make sure to like the video and subscribe and turn on notifications as well so that you can see each and every time that we post our card adventures here at Back to the Future podcast. And now I'll leave you with some photos from my Oogie Boogie Bash and my experience in Disneyland. Hope you enjoy.